Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the Fantasy Football Podcast live stream edition. It is me, Joey P, Joe Pizzapia, and today, we got a feisty, salty mock draft room here, 14 teams deep, and we've got 4 analysts here. That's right, I'm an analyst too. I wear many hats, but it's mostly because my bald head is out in the sun too much. And today, we're going to do half PPR style. It's going to be a good time. Make sure you like this video and, of course, subscribe to Fantasy Pros channel. We are growing just as large, just as quickly as Andrew Erickson's biceps. And speaking of Andrew Erickson, he is in the chat here today in the mock draft. Also, Fantasy Fitz, Pat Fitzmaurice is here as well. Fitzy, ready to defend the honor of all of his ranks. And of course, Derek Brown, the king of bros, is also here with us today. And we've also got a lot of friends here in the mock draft. Some of them have come to us from our Discord channel, which we keep telling people, when you have membership to our Discord channel, membership has its privileges and you get to do fun things like this. We also pulled a few people from our Twitter account as well who like to follow us and interact with us also. So make sure you're following us on Twitter, on TikTok at Fantasy Pros, and of course the YouTube channel. Don't forget about that. Now today, as I said, it's a bigger mock draft. So 14 teams, that's what we're doing. And we're using, of course, the draft wizard at fantasypros.com/draft wizard. The mock draft lobby is open for business. Get in a mock today, or you can also use the draft simulator if you decide you just want to run some mock simulations by yourself. Figure out what you like to do, the ins, the outs, maybe reverse a pick, maybe make 3, reverse again. It doesn't matter. You can do all of that stuff over there at the mock draft wizard. Again, that's over at Fantasy Pros. And we also have this multi-user draft software where you could send links to your friends or your enemies or your frenemies and draft along with them as we are today. So again, check that out at fantasypros.com/draft wizard. And of course, you get more bells and whistles when you are a premium member of Fantasy Pros, which you should be doing. And don't forget also, we're giving away free stuff today. This is the last day. This is it. Chris told us, our producer said, this is it, the last day we can give this away. So if you would like a Gabriel Davis jersey that is autographed by Gabriel Davis himself, not Derek Brown, but actually Gabriel Davis, you can win it right now today. All you have to do is make sure that you are a subscriber to our Fantasy Pros YouTube channel and comment below on this video. That's it. That's all you got to do, and it can be yours. So Gabe Davis autographed jersey, thanks to our friends at Pristine Auction. We're going to announce the winner right here on the channel today. That's super exciting. So Big Pod Energy, are you ready to start the draft, my friend?
You mean Bigger Pod Energy?
Oh,
that is
that's
my
right.
name in this draft because 14-team league, had to bring out the big guns.
Okay, both those big guns are out there. Hopefully you've got a license for them. I am drafting from this 3 spot. You are drafting from 5. Derek Brown, you are over at 9. Where's the Fitz? Where are you? Oh, there you are. You're at the 11 spot. Fitz, how you feel about pick number 11?
That's my Spinal Tap spot, Joe.
Ah,
I go to 11, baby.
That's right. That's right. You know, some people go to 10. Not Fitz. He's always got that one extra in there. And now for you, Derek Brown, I heard before that you're a little worried about your draft because Fuzzy is drafting right above you. Now, Fuzzy is the real deal, as many of our Discord Fantasy Pros peeps are. So how has this changed your strategy? You're a little worried that you might be in a draft basically against another version of you?
I'm just preparing for pain. That's all it comes down to. I mean, look, anybody that was in their Discord the other day, I was running a mock. I was in the shower of all things whenever these guys are like tagging me, and I was like, yeah, why not? Let's shower and mock. Like, and I get soap in my eye, Fuzzy steals all my players, and things just go sideways. So, these are the things that you get when you're in the Discord. So
you got to use those no tears, the Johnson and Johnsons, right? The baby shampoo. That way you don't cry about it so much. Yeah, that's because it sounds like you're crying about losing a mock draft to our Discord people. Just saying. That's what it sounds like. So all those emotions in check. We're going to try to keep all the emotions in check here. We've got Chris with us, Cal Breath, Moctimus Prime, Babyface Brothers, 40 Cal, Fuzzy, of course, we just talked about. X marks the spot. We've got FF Mad Scientist, Aaron B, and Hope Prevent as well, who I also know from our Discord chat. So good peeps in the room today. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are ready because now it is time to kick things off. And again, as I said before, we are going to be doing this with a half PPR style. It's 14 teams, so a little bit deeper than we've been going. So we're going to have some good, deeper picks here, which is good because we're going to talk about some players maybe we haven't given enough love to recently. So as we kick things off here on the draft, we can only assume Jonathan Taylor would go first. That's what, of course, the suggestion is. We've had this conversation quite a bit, but I haven't really had it with Fitz. Fitz, Jonathan Taylor, CMC, something else? What do you like to do with the 1 pick?
just was put to the test on this in the Data Force charity draft that I was asked back to, and took Jonathan Taylor. And like we've seen Christian McCaffrey outscore Jonathan Taylor on average in over their careers, but I do think you get a little bit of a higher degree of risk with Christian McCaffrey. Just the games missed, like I don't know, just the physiology. Taylor's a bigger dude. I think he's better equipped to handle that load. So it's kind of balancing the risk with, do I want to take that extra injury risk and, maybe pick up a couple extra points? I do think McCaffrey is the higher ceiling, though.
All right. So the higher ceiling, but going safe there. Taylor does go 1, McCaffrey goes 2. I am picking 3rd, so of course I took a wide receiver because I like to stay on brand. So Justin Jefferson is my dude there. We only have a 30-second clock, so we're going to be flying through these picks today. So keep your cues ready if you're in the draft. And once again, make sure you like this stream if you're watching it today. It's very important to do that. It makes us feel really good deep inside and warm and fuzzy. We've also got, Austin Eckler going next, followed by your pick, Big Pot Energy. Who'd you take?
Dalvin Cook, running back, Minnesota Vikings.
There you go. Would you like to elaborate on that, or is that just good enough? You want to give some analysis, maybe?
I mean, that's my strategy. I want in the top 5 picks, I want either Jefferson or Dalvin Cook. And that's why I picked that 5, because I knew I would get one of those Vikings players.
Well, you knew you weren't getting Jefferson because I was ahead of you. Cooper Kupp goes next, followed by Derrick Henry. Fuzzy's on the clock, so obviously right now Derek Brown is waiting. Now, D-Bro, I know you don't want to give away the house here to Fuzzy, but who are you looking at? Who are you targeting? You got Harris, Chase, Mixon, Diggs, all still on the board.
So the wide receivers here are really interesting. I think just going straight up like BPA, I would lean wide receivers. And hey, look at there, Fuzzy
Was listening
exactly
to the
who I wanted.
Yep.
There you go. That's lovely.
Well, you've got 15 seconds to make a pick, so make sure you don't.
I'm going to go running back here, and part of that comes down to it's a 14-teamer. So looking at running backs, and they're going to fly off the board, I'd rather at least I feel better about the ability to get wide receivers a little bit later in this draft.
All right, so Chase goes, then you took DeAndre Swift ahead of Najee Harris. Interesting, haven't seen a lot of that. Stephon Diggs is going at the 110 spot, brings up Pat Fitzmaurice at the 111. So where'd you go?
I'm going Najee Harris. I hope I'm not falling into a value trap. I really want to get one of the magnificent 7 wide receivers, and let's see if one falls back to me, because if I don't get one of the top 7, I'm going to be disappointed and kicking myself for not taking a receiver with this pick.
Well, one of them went after. We saw Joe Mixon at 12 and then Devontae Adams at 113. I can only assume that's what you're talking about. This value trap sounds like a dangerous place. I hope I try to avoid that. I don't know. Describe the value trap to us. What does that mean?
So, I mean, I think in a vacuum, I would rather have the running back than the wide receiver there. But I also don't want to come out of this with no wide receivers. And
fair enough.
I'm willing to take, top 7 with either of these first 2 picks. And if the top 7 are all gone, then I'm kind of hosed. I've fallen into that value trap, and I've got to go with another position there and, not have a receiver coming out of the first 2 rounds, which would be bad.
All right, at the turn at 114 and 201, we have CeeDee Lamb and Keenan Allen. So double dipping in the wide receivers for Hope Venezuela. Saquon Barkley goes 202. Deebo Samuel 203. So Pat, is there anybody left there for you that you like?
No. So it's
these mocks are always tougher because our Fantasy Pros family, they're good, man. They know what they're doing. 8 seconds on the clock, Pat.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to take I'm going with
1 second. Did he get it in time?
No, man, it wouldn't.
Travis Kelce is the pick. So that's what the mock draft wizard is obviously telling you. The bots have told you, Pat, you fell into the value trap, so let us take it from here. So hopefully you take yourself off the auto and we'll go through. X marks the spot is up next, then Derek Brown to follow. So look, this is the thing. And now you're getting, you had the wide receiver run. Barkley's gone early. Aaron Jones just goes off as well at 205. So Derek Brown, you're up at 206.
So I know you brought up that I went Swift over Najee. A little bit of this at 14-teamer. I'm just going to swing for upside, and I've got 3 running backs right next to each other. I'm actually going to swing for the home run here. I'm going Javonte Williams.
Ooh, I like it. I just put him in my queue. What a waste of time that was for me. Javonte Williams at 206. So D-Bro going for the upside. Fuzzy is up next. Perhaps this running back run continues. We shall see. A fair amount of good ones still on the board. And then we're going to get to 40 Cal and then Babyface Brothers. Just out of curiosity, Fitz, who was it that you wanted to take that you didn't get to? Instead, you got stuck with Travis Kelce.
Oh, I was going to take Javonte, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. Me too. I was also going to take Javonte. So we got it ruined for both of us, which is nice. This is fun. All right, let's go look at the board here. 207, AJ Brown goes off the board. 208 is up next right now. We're getting closer and closer. Mike Evans goes, and now we're back to Andrew Erickson pretty soon after Babyface Brothers goes ahead and makes their picks. So they do. Leonard Fournette goes next. So Erickson, where do you go?
Where do I go here? I do like some of the running backs here on the board, but I also like some of these wide receivers as well. So I'm going to go with a wide receiver. And, maybe... who knows?
Don't get fitzed. I'm just saying you.
No, I'm going to go with a running back.
Oh, boo. I hate you. I wanted Nick Chubb so much. All right, Nick Chubb goes. Probably a pipe dream wasn't making it back to me. Oh, well. C'est la vie. We move on. In a 14-team league, this is what you have to deal with. You have to understand the depth of the board, and that changes things dramatically. You have to pay close attention to some of these runs. Optimus Prime is up next at 211. I'm looking as well at some different talent on the board. The draft wizard, of course, is telling me to draft Tyreek Hill or Mark Andrews. That is a choice I'm not sure how comfortable I am, because then what happens when it comes back to me around? Do I like those guys that are still available at the running back position? I don't really care for them right now, so that's kind of tough already, so I'm kind of behind the eight ball. So instead, I am going to listen to the draft wizard, and I'm actually going to go ahead and take Mark Andrews here, something I don't usually do. This is an old Dan Harris trick, so I'm going to go ahead and take the big tight end here. So I got a number one wide receiver, maybe the number one wide receiver on the board. Maybe I have the number one tight end on the board. We'll see what makes it back to me. Tyreek Hill goes next. Chris is up for 2 here in the the 14th pick in the second round, and then the first pick in the third. Erickson, why did you cave eventually and take Nick Chubb?
I just think that he's one of the safer options at running back in a 14-team league. I feel really good about him alongside Dalvin Cook. I mean, he's going to average 5 yards per carry. We know that. And he's going to get the ball plenty when Deshaun Watson is out. And then when Watson comes back, he's going to have a higher ceiling with touchdowns. So I just think that Chubb, they maintain his usage. That'll keep him healthy. And I just don't think I'm going to look back at this draft and be like, you know what? Nick Chubb is where everything went wrong. I don't think that's going to be the case.
I agree. I was hoping that he would make it back to me. Clearly, that did not happen. Michael Pittman, one of your favorites, goes at the end of the second round. The beginning of the third, Cam Akers goes. So once again, looking at upside. Cal Breath is up next. I've got a few options here on the board. I could certainly go and be the first person to take Josh Allen and take a quarterback. Could do that. I could also take T. Higgins, also on the board. Pretty good player. But I'm a little worried about the running back position. That's the problem here. Where do I go with RB? Ezekiel Elliott feels safe, but is he? When it comes down to Zeke and it comes down to Breece Hall, I'm going to have to go ahead and just take Zeke and hope maybe just one more good year in the sun. I don't love it. I don't even like it, but I go ahead and I did it anyway because
that's gross.
It is gross. I feel dirty. I might just leave the stream altogether, see how it goes. But look, it's funny because when I was mocking earlier, I kept taking Breece Hall. For some reason, I got in the room with you. I just couldn't do it. It's like you had some weird mind meld on me. I don't know what's going on. Optimus Prime is up next. David Montgomery goes off the board. So it's to you. Back to you, Erickson. Do you go wide receiver here? Or are you going running back? What are you doing?
Man, see, it's funny because the receiver I was thinking about taking at 210 is still here. He's still on the board. So I'm going to go with T. Higgins here. I think he's a steal right here at the top of the third round.
All right, T. Higgins goes next to Andrew Erickson. Babyface Brothers is on the clock. T. Higgins, I think, a really good value. Do you think some people are a little over-concerned of the fact that, well, Jamar Chase was such great wide receiver towards the end of last year and in the playoffs that, maybe there's not enough for T. Higgins? It doesn't feel that way. Do you think people overreact to the fact that those two are together on the same team?
I think so. I think that just naturally makes Higgins someone that that falls in a certain draft slot. He's not the team's number one, but we see this all the time. there are plenty of offenses that support 2 wide receiver ones. And if you're going to make a bet on what offense that will be in 2022, the Bengals look like that type of offense. So I'm not worried about it.
All right. DJ Moore, somebody who, once again, we know the floor. Maybe it's even lower this year. Who knows? Maybe Baker Mayfield can bring things down to a whole new level we haven't even seen for DJ Moore, which would be ironic and hilarious because people think it might get better. But what if it gets worse? It is in the range of outcomes. Let's not pretend it's not. Deontay Johnson goes next, 307. Travis Etienne goes to Fuzzy at 308. And I'm sure Derek Brown is fussing with his beard right now because he is not happy about Travis Etienne going off right before him by Fuzzy. So you're up at the 309.
So I'm going to go down. The draft wizard is screaming at me to take Jalen Waddle. I'm going to go with it.
All right.
I think the Miami Dolphins offense is being slept on a little bit. I think everybody's worried about Tua. I think all those concerns are a little bit blown out of proportion. So I'll go Waddle here.
There you go. If you scream at Derek Brown, he will take Jalen Waddle. That's something to know about him. That should be in his Twitter handle, I believe. Breece Hall goes next at 310. I'm shocked he lasted that long. Pat Fitzmaurice wasted no time with this pick. I have been very aggressive lately on this player. Talk to us about the Mike Williams selection here.
Yeah, through 5 weeks of the 2021 season, Mike Williams was the wide receiver 1 in half-point PPR, a little bit ahead of Cooper Kupp. So that is the upside here. Tweaked his knee a bit in week 5 and then had some down weeks after that hot start. Had a pretty good finish. This guy's a baller. I mean, huge alpha type. I know they've got Keenan Allen there. He's going to demand his share of targets, but Mike Williams, like high value targets for him, paired with one of the best young quarterbacks in the league.
All right. So you've started Harris, Kelsey, Williams, Kelsey by default, but still there. Terry McLaurin goes next at 312, Josh Allen at 313, then Antonio Gibson at the turn, along with Allen Robinson, Matthew Friedman's favorite player, goes at 4-1 to start the 4th round. Aaron B is up next on the clock, and then we're going to get back to Fitz. So Fitz, what's the plan here? What are you hoping for? What's in the queue?
I got to keep hitting wide receiver after not getting one with the first 2 picks. I do not want to fall too far behind the curve here because I know it's going to be pretty ugly by the time it gets back to me in rounds 5, 6.
All right. And look, right now you do have theoretically the number one, or one of the number 1 tight ends, potentially. You have a number 1 running back and you have a potential number 1 wide receiver in Mike Williams. So I think you could be doing worse. DK Metcalf could be doing better with his quarterback situation. He goes at 402. That's one of those weird picks where you just take it and you have no idea whether or not, it's going to return value. Sutton goes right after. Fitz, while you're making your pick, real quick. Oh, you were ready right away. You took who?
I took Brandon Cooks.
Okay.
He is basically the fantasy cockroach. He produces under any circumstances whatsoever. I mean, that is the highest compliment possible to Brandon Cooks. Put him on any team in any situation, and he's going to put up numbers. So count on him to do that again.
How would you rank those guys? Sutton, DK, Metcalf, Cooks, because that's the order. They went in the order of DK, Sutton, Cooks, but I don't necessarily agree with that order. Do you?
I was going to go DK, Cooks, Sutton. I'm not quite as high on Sutton as my colleagues Debro
Well, that
and
might be
Erickson
impossible.
are.
That's
I think
impossible.
It's totally possible Jerry Jeudy outproduces both of them. I have Jeudy slightly higher in my rankings, which they hate me for, but
That's all right. That's all right. Us wily veterans are still in the Jerry Jeudy camp. Marquise Brown goes after you selected then. Derek Brown, who did you select at 406?
So I was really hoping that Cortland Sutton fell to me, but it didn't happen. And then I was really hoping if Sutton didn't fall to me, Marquise Brown would have fallen to me. That didn't happen either. So I stopped the fall for Kyle Pitts. Looking at what type of season he had at the tight end position, I mean, guy's a wide receiver. He could legitimately put up great numbers this year. So I'll just go ahead and take the value.
All right. Taking the value with Kyle Pitts. Then we have Gabriel Davis going next to Fuzzy. Fuzzy definitely knows what Fuzzy is doing because Fuzzy has got a lot of the players we love on their roster already. 408 is George Kittle. Babyface is up next at 409. You are on deck here, Mr. Big Pot Energy. Excuse me, Bigger Pot Energy. Where are you looking to go next?
No idea. Wanted Kyle Pitts.
Gotta love that preparation. Gotta love that.
I thought maybe Kyle Pitts would fall to me. Jerry Judy's looking kind of attractive here. I can't draft Cortland Sutton, so I might pick somebody different. He's still available. Oh, Elijah Mitchell. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna take some Jerry Judy because
Yeah.
I think actually there's a path to some more upside. We got news about Tim Patrick and a torn ACL. And I think that locks in Judy to more playing time. Like, it was never guaranteed that he would be on the field in 2 wide receiver sets. I think this actually gives him a higher outlook heading into next year. And so I am drafting accordingly.
There you go. All right, Optimus Prime is up next, and then I select after. Darnell Mooney off the board, which allows me to take my favorite RB2, A.J. Dillon. So I'm going to ready, lock and load that pick. Let's go. It gave me the slight reach. I really don't care. I'm going to get my guys here, and I want somebody younger than Ezekiel Elliott, so A.J. Dillon fits that mold as well. Cal Breath is up next. Then we have Chris for 2. Justin Herbert goes off the board at 413. 414. Chris is up next for 2 picks, and then turning around to the 5th. Make sure if you're watching this, again, that you're subscribing to Fantasy Pros channel, because we're giving away that Gabriel Davis jersey today. Somebody's going to win it, but you have to be a subscriber, and you have to go ahead and make a comment in the chat. We're going to announce the winner today, so make sure you do that. That's what you got to do. Lamar Jackson and Rashad Bateman, teammates going together. This is adorable. This is very nice. I like to see when people keep the stack together there. I've got a few players still kicking around that I think I believe in, but we'll see if they make it down to me, if whether or not I'm going to be pleased with the remains of what makes it back down to me here. Again, 14 teams, things change quite a bit. Amari Cooper goes next, which means I am now officially on the clock, which means, again, I can swing for the fences or I can take somebody safe. I think I'm going to swing for the fences and have some fun. I mean, if I've already got Ezekiel Elliott, I might as well light my entire team on fire with Michael Thomas. Let's go! Let's have some fun, shall we? Because if Michael Thomas is right, that is a tremendous value in a 14-team league in the 5th round. I'll go ahead and take the roll of the dice. Looking at Elijah Moore, looking at Amon-Ra St. Brown, those are the guys I was looking at. But Michael Thomas, let's see if he's got anything left in the tank. We shall find out. Next is Optimus Prime, is going to pick at 504. And then Andrew, you are up. Juju Smith-Schuster just flew off the board. Who's flying onto your roster?
Flying onto my roster, coming to Bigger Pod Energy, is Elijah Moore, New York Jets.
There you go. So I passed, and then you took him. You feel strong about that? You feel good?
I just think that Elijah Moore he's just a dog. He's nasty. Mm-hmm. And I think that he's going to overcome the situation with Zach Wilson. I think he's going to develop in year 2, and I'm excited that he's on my team.
All right. Hoping for more development from Elijah Moore on the Jets. Then we have Amon-Ra St. Brown go next at 506. 40 Cal is up, followed by Fuzzy and Debro. So let's see how that plays out here. Josh Jacobs goes off the board. So Fuzzy is on the 30-second clock. Derek Brown, what do your hopes and dreams look like right now?
Well, I'm hoping that Fuzzy doesn't take the top of my queue away here. But I'm prepared for the pain, like I talked about. Mm-hmm. I'm debating, like, I feel good about my running backs. Obviously, I went running back. I'm debating between maybe going Jalen Hurts, maybe addressing, and there we go.
Jalen Hurts, once again, Hurts. Derek Brown,
Things
absolutely sniped by Fuzzy. So Fuzzy is just, let me tell you, Fuzzy's got your number here. Sometimes, but I told you, you got to change your mindset. You can't get shook there. And of course, you go take one of your favorites anyway.
Exactly. Can't shake me. I'm just going to take Drake London.
Can't be shook. Good. No shaking. No shook. No nothing. Do you like martinis? Are you shaken or stirred? Or are you not a martini guy? Are you a martini guy?
Yeah, I'll drink martinis.
Fitz, do you think Derek Brown would look right with a martini with that beard and that hat? I don't know. Something's awful like that.
He seems like more of a bourbon guy to me.
Oh, yeah,
I am at heart. But, I mean, I will not turn down a good Appletini either, okay?
Well, of course not. I mean, who would? That's crazy. All right, let's go to Miles Sanders at 5'10", Patrick Mahomes at 5'11". To you, Pat Fitzmaurice taking a quarterback. Your thoughts on taking a QB in this 14-team draft?
I mean, if people are just going to give me the Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce tandem, I got to take it. Got to take it.
True.
Why are so many quarterbacks going ahead of Patrick Mahomes? Please explain, Joe. I don't understand.
I can explain the reasoning, but I don't necessarily agree with it. I think it's all of a sudden the fear of the unknown of, okay, well, what's the offense look like now without Tyreek Hill, the big playmaker? Some of the, some people like to put some deeper metrics about Patrick Mahomes that, might give you some pause, but I don't see it. I think he's a generational talent. I think you're unfortunately going to get more of the Drew Brees looking Patrick Mahomes, the guy who every week makes somebody else look good, which is great for Mahomes, but bad for anybody else that you have on that roster. That's kind of where I live. How about you, Pat?
Yeah, I mean, like
You're up
he's
next,
my.
by the way, too.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, he's my number 2. I feel really good about him. I just got sniped by the mad scientist. He
That's twice now the mad
really
scientist
rocked
has
my
got
world.
you.
So I'm going to take maybe a little bit of a reach here, but Brandon Ayuk. Felt pretty good about him. Like really good rookie year. Got in the doghouse early last year and worked his way out of it and had a nice finish for the 49ers. I'm not as worried about Trey Lance, like bringing down his pass catchers as much as some people are. So had to get a third receiver here.
I look, I had Ayuk in my queue. I think it's an excellent pick there. Certainly some upside, especially with Lance and the deep ball potential that he brings. Not like Jimmy Garoppolo. J.K. Dobbins went at 5'12", in case you were wondering, and then 5'13", Darren Waller. Followed at the turn at 5'14", Dalton Schultz and Damian Harris. Then Kareem Hunt went 6'02", nice value there. Followed by Chris Godwin, Ayuk to Fitz. Kyler Murray goes next, so we're getting to the quarterbacks here. And then Derek Brown, you selected who at 606?
Well, Kyler was at the top of my queue because we know he has that type of difference maker ceiling. But I went with a player that I'm really high on. Chase Edmonds is a top 24 running back for me. Again, doubling down on the Dolphins. So obviously, I put it out on Twitter that I'm higher on the Miami Dolphins offense. It's backing it up here in this mock draft.
Backing it up. There you go. Tony Pollard goes next to Fuzzy. Another one of our favorites there. So nice value on that pick. Rashad Penny goes. So we're getting a little running back run here. Adam Thielen and then Andrew Erickson. You're on the clock.
Booyah. All right. Who did Babyface
Wow,
Brothers
that
take?
was some bigger energy right there.
Oh, Adam
Booyah.
Thielen. Adam Thielen, 30. How old is he now? 32? Yeah, he's old.
132. Yes.
That's an interesting pick for Babyface Brothers because Adam Thielen does not have a baby face.
Keep making jokes. You got 10 seconds, fun boy.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good to go. I went with Devonta Smith, wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles. Just trying to push my chips in on more breakout wide receivers with potential. And just need one or two of these guys to hit. And I'm cooking with gas with my elite running backs.
You're cooking with something. You're cooking with below average quarterback play, I believe, is the ingredient you were looking for. Optimus Prime is at 6'11". So we'll see what Optimus Prime goes. I've got some guys in my queue I can stomach. Hopefully they don't all get taken. DeAndre Hopkins goes. While I'm making my pick, Erickson, do you think DeAndre Hopkins here is a good pick at 6'11" or a bad pick because of the 6 games you're going to miss? When do you pull the trigger on Hopkins, if at all?
I mean, I'm not pulling it in the 6th round or 7th round, like in more traditional form. He's got to go later for me. This is a 14-team league. The waiver wire is going to be a wasteland, and you have to hold a guy the entire 6 weeks. And I just don't think he's going to be the wide receiver 1 that we all kind of attach to his name that we've seen in the past when he comes back. If Kyler Murray and Marquise Brown are cooking and they have a really good chemistry building, is Hopkins going to be dropped back in? He's going to get 12 targets per game. I'm skeptical.
All right, you're skeptical. I have Alan Lazard on my team at 6'12". Ramondre Stevenson goes next right out of the queue, so Erickson and I won't get a chance to take Ramondre. Then we have TJ Hawkinson at 6'14", starting at the 701. Chris will pick again. I've got a few, one more running back that I like and a few more wide receivers as well. Once again, as we're watching this live stream here, and by we, I mean you, make sure you give us a like here because you're having fun, and make sure you comment. And especially if you are a subscriber, because you can win that Gabriel Davis autographed jersey from Pristine Auction. We like to give away free things. Robert Woods goes at the top of 7. Hunter Renfrow out of my queue and on to 7-2. That is cow breath. So to me, it's, again, either some more upside or the safer guy potentially. As much as I love the Kadarius Toney upside, and there's lots of, I get very excited about Kadarius Toney the way Derek Brown does, I'm going to go ahead and take Christian Kirk here. I'm going to take Christian Kirk because I do think there's a path here where Christian Kirk has a much better fantasy season than people realize. And I think Trevor Lawrence bounces back potentially this year. And we see why he was a generational quarterback prospect in the first place. Optimus Prime at 704. And then Andrew Erickson, you're up next. What are you looking for, Andrew?
Probably just going to keep taking more wide receivers. I drafted more running backs in the early rounds, the first 2 rounds, and I want to just try to get more breakout wide receivers. So I'm going to take the guy that you just talked about, Kadarius Toney.
There you go. Kadarius Toney is gone. you've got a big upside team. I think you should be a bigger upside energy. I feel like,
I always bring the upside.
this team could
Always
go
bring the upside.
super bust. Are you somebody that doesn't mind that? Like, are you somebody that's like, you know what, first or last? Are you in that Ricky Bobby category? Are you somebody who just wants to make the playoffs and then take their chances?
I mean, obviously want to make the playoffs, and you say that my roster has upside, but
It's got
all I need is
downside, actually, is what I was
it's got
alluding to.
downside,
Yeah.
but I only need one of these wide receivers to make a big difference for me. They're not all going to hit, but
Mhm.
if one of them makes a jump, if Tony goes from a ADP wide receiver 40 to a top 15 guy, like that's going to be a major win for me and really help push me to the playoffs.
All right. After I took Christian Kirk, Treylon Burks, then Kadarius Toney, Clyde Edwards-Helaire to the Babyface Brothers at 7-6. Russell Wilson, the Russ Bus, lands at 7-07. Fuzzy, which might be just a robot version of Derek Brown, takes Russell Gage at 7-08. Derek Brown, you're up next at 7-09. What do you got?
I'm not gonna lie, Gage was in the queue. Thanks, Fuzzy. Loving this draft. At this point, there is a lot of quarterbacks. I was considering going quarterback here, but quarterback is pretty bountiful. So I am going to go with, if I can get him here. I know that there are injury concerns and stuff, but again, at this point, I'm looking a little bit thin on wide receivers. I didn't know if he was going to come back to me pressing the button on Sky Moore.
Jerk. Good job. I mean, I knew he wasn't
going to come back.
He wasn't going to come back. I knew. And you just put him in the queue a little while ago. Sky Moore goes, Chris Olave goes. And this is, I think, how you make up ground, right, Derek, on wide receivers. You start taking shots on guys like Moore, guys like Olave, some of these rookies who could make an impact in year one. To me, that's how you make up ground if you go running back heavy early, right?
Absolutely. I mean, look, like you talked about, it could crash and burn. But the thing is, in these middle rounds, and especially you're trying to make up the ground at wide receiver, shoot for the upside. Like if these guys hit, if Jalen Waddle has a good season, if Drake London smashes in his rookie season, Sky Moore, people are still sleeping on in Kansas City's offense. Yeah. If they all hit, then I'll be sitting pretty with all the running backs.
All right. Fitz was sitting at 7-11. Who's sitting next to you now, Fitz?
Ken Walker III. So just like going to the upside play here, I know that right now everyone feels that Rashad Penny is ahead of him, but like this is a bet on talent. And I know that this is not an offense that's going to score a lot of points, but Walker's a terrific prospect. And, we see rookie running backs get pushed down further than they should be pretty much every year in fantasy football. And that's the lowest like these guys are ever drafted until they get beyond the age apex. So I think Walker at some point is going to emerge this season and, be like, if not a heavy duty back, at least maybe a, majority share guy in the Seattle committee.
All right. So after you took Walker, Lockett, then MVS goes at 7-13. At the turn at 7-14, Devin Singletary followed by Joe Burrow at 8-01. Cordero Patterson, 8-02. Tom Brady, rookie, young kid, fresh out of college. We'll see how he does at 8:03. Pat Fitzmaurice, you're up next on the clock.
Oh, why don't we just double up on rookie running backs? And this is not a guy I've drafted real aggressively this season. James Cook for Buffalo. Dwayne McFarland of PFF really talked me into him when he was on my podcast earlier this week. Like Buffalo wanted a guy to catch passes for him. And Cook is like an aggressive, he's not just a dump off guy. This is like a wheel route guy, a guy who can run patterns. They wanted this guy. They tried to get JD McKissick, didn't get him. And like, yeah, I'm despite the fact that Josh Allen has run for more touchdowns than all Buffalo running backs combined in Josh Allen's 4 seasons as a starter. I think there's upside here in the running game too. So happy to get the rookie, double rookie running backs, Joe.
Double rookie running backs it is for Fitz. Then we have Melvin Gordon going at 8:05, 8:06, Chase Claypool. And of course, Fuzzy took Isaiah Spiller, another fan favorite of Derek Brown's. You took Chase Claypool when Spiller was on the board. Talk to me about that here, Derek. What do you want to do here? Are you happy with that in retrospect now?
Oh, I am. I mean, I'm happy with it because I feel good about the running backs I have so far with Javonte, DeAndre Swift, and Chase Edmonds. Felt like I really needed to get another wide receiver room, even though the draft wizard was screaming at me to take Dak Prescott. I still feel pretty good about the quarterbacks that are left out there, although I might be regretting that when it comes back to me.
It's possible. We shall see. Garrett Wilson and Tyler Boyd go next. So 8:08 for Tyler Boyd, Garrett Wilson. by Tyler Boyd, pardon me, and 809 Garrett Wilson goes. So 810, you took a tight end here, Mr. Erickson. What'd you do?
Went with Dallas Goedert, Eagles. So I have 2 Eagles pass catchers on my team.
All right, boy, loading up on that incredible Eagles air attack. That's where you're going
birds
here.
do fly.
The Jalen,
Birds
the
do
hurt
fly.
slander is heavy today. Just gonna point that out.
I'm just having fun with it.
Golly.
All right, Michael Carter goes next, which puts me up on the clock. So once again, let's see. Do we go safe or do we go for fun? That is the question here. I think I'm going to play it a little safe here, and I think I'm going to go ahead and take Dak Prescott instead of Trey Lance. So I got a value pick, a thumbs up. So thank you. I know you gave me some reaches earlier, Draft Wizard. I know you and I sometimes get along, and other times we fight and argue. So it's nice when we can come together and have a nice moment. Rondell Moore goes next. Jacoby Myers after that to close out the 8th round. To begin the 9th round, Alexander Madison goes. I am up on the clock very shortly. Dawson Knox goes next. So looking at what's in the queue, it ain't that much. The queue is barren quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and take Devontae Parker, who I think is going to be the number 1 wide receiver for the New England Patriots, or the 6 weeks that he plays. And I'll take it. Zach Ertz goes next at 904. Big Pot Energy. Is this Trey Lance time?
No. I'm waiting on a quarterback.
Okay.
Late round QB. I can get Kirk Cousins in one of my last picks if I want to.
Yeah, you could. It's true. You could.
No, it is true because the draft wizard's going to tell me that was the right move to make.
That's right. It will, unless somebody takes 2 quarterbacks and is a jerk, which could happen at some point in time in this draft. Can't put it above myself. I can't put it above myself. Rashad White is your selection. You are very high on him. You've taken a lot of shares of him. Why is that? Is it just because you're concerned about Fournette's age and the wear and tear? Or do you really see that Rashad White has this upside as a rookie to come in and perform fantasy-wise for a team that is really trying to contend now?
I just think that I like this profile coming out as a college running back. He checked off a lot of boxes when you look at some of the things I am trying to attach rookies to. So pass catching, like he was a exemplary receiver at the college level, and that translates to fantasy success. And look, Fournette's an older running back, and there is wear and tear on his body. Could he be out of shape? The fact that he's like losing and gaining weight is maybe not a concern that at the start of the year, but towards the end of the season, okay, maybe he does, start to slow down a little bit. Maybe they do involve Rashad White a little bit more as a receiver, and you want guys catching passes from Tom Brady. So I'm going to continue to draft Rashad White in the late rounds.
Maybe he's going through a tough breakup or something. You don't know why his weight is yo-yoing. You don't know the inner workings of Leonard Fournette's personal life. You don't know me. Rashad White goes, followed right after by Trey Lance, 906. 907, DJ Shark. Then you've got 908. Fuzzy is on the clock, and Julio Jones is the selection, which puts Derek Brown up for 909.
That's a good pick by Fuzzy. I like that a lot. Because he's still kind of hidden down there in the ECR.
He is.
I had Julio starred, but I'm going to address the quarterback room here. I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford. Maybe look to pair somebody else that's a little more high upside and rushing equity later. But for right now, I mean, come on. Stafford's in a fantastic offense. They're probably going to be top 5, top 10 in scoring again this year. So I'll take the safety of Stafford.
All right, the safety of Stafford there at 909. Christian Watson goes at 910. Pat Fitzmaurice at 911. You are up.
All right, it's a pretty sickly collection of wide receivers available to me here. So I'm going to go with Kenny Golladay. I know his 2021 season was a complete nightmare. I'm hoping that was because Golladay really wasn't healthy for much of it. But, Daniel Jones statistically is a pretty good thrower of the deep ball, although I know he doesn't get credit for many things. He's good at the deep ball, and Golladay, can be hopefully that pure vertical receiver for him. I mean, Golladay put up wide receiver 1 numbers a couple of years ago when Matthew Stafford got hurt in Detroit, and it was David Blau throwing to him. And, David Blau is barely a Canadian Football League caliber quarterback, and Golladay produced with him. So I think he can produce with Daniel Jones.
All right, here we go. Looking around again as you're watching this, make sure you go ahead and like the stream. Also, we're going to have another jersey giveaway coming up soon, but we still got that Gabriel Davis one to go as well. So make sure, if you haven't already subscribed to Fantasy Pros, YouTube channel. Boom, there it is. Gabriel Davis autographed jersey from pristineauction.com. It can be yours. You have to be a subscriber and you have to make a comment in the chat. As far as comments on the chat, I see Chris, who's in the draft with us, said he almost took Mahomes but couldn't do it. Someone else loves your Travis Kelce auto pick, Fitz. So there you go. See, sometimes auto pick makes the people happy. Here we go. Another question here. Would you take Julio over Gage? I'll ask this of you, Derek Brown. Would you take Julio over Gage now?
I have them right back to back. I still take Gage, just because I believe in the talent and the youth, and I think that he could still have a role this year.
All right, still have a role potentially. We shall see. I think it's Gage too. The long term, I think that you go and sign a player, you hope that that's who you're signing is going to be part of that. I think the Julio thing coming later is the fact that it's more of an insurance policy than anything else. Kenny Golladay went to Fitz, then Ronald Jones went after Van Jefferson with his injury now a big question mark at 9-13. 9-14, his teammate Darrell Henderson goes next. Followed by, where are we? 10-01, Nyheim Hines, followed by Damian Pierce, Cole Kmet at 10-03, and then Fitz, who did you select at 10-04?
James Robinson, Jaguars, just adding to that running back room. Hopefully, he was not on the pup to start training camp. Hopefully that means he's ready to go for week 1. Not counting on it, but, a depth piece, and hopefully he comes back and is part of the Jacksonville committee with Travis Etienne before too long.
Tyler Algier goes next at 10:05, followed at 10:06 by Justin Fields to Derek Brown. So you feeling good now? Is that your upside QB guy, your second dude?
Yep, that was the person I was pigeonholing for the Q, trying to get some upside rushing equity later. And I know people could say, like, oh, we just drafted 2 quarterbacks. Like, why are you doing that in this mock? It's a 14-teamer. Like,
yeah,
unless
a 14 team, you could absolutely draft 2 quarterbacks.
I mean, if every team takes 2 quarterbacks, you're looking at, like, there's 4 starters left on the waiver wire. So I'm not worrying about that. I'm not mixing and matching. I'm just going to take Fields, and I'll roll with Stafford and Fields and play matchups all year.
All right, we'll see how that works out. Jamal Williams goes to Fuzzy at 10-7, Mecole Hardman at 10-8, Michael Gallup at 10-9. Andrew Erickson, you're up for the 10-10 pick.
Going with potentially the Dolphins' red zone running back, Sony Michel.
There you go. Sony Michel. You're staying on the Sony Michel wagon. You have not been shook from it yet. We have Sony Michel go, then Aaron Rodgers goes next, which puts me back on the board. There's a couple running backs here that I actually don't mind. I'm actually in this weird space of running back now where I look at some of the names available, and some of them are not as frustrating to me as maybe some others. So I'm going to take some upside appeal here of Darrell Williams, because I think there's a chance that he gets more work than people realize. And we all know he hasn't exactly, James Conner, been the figurehead of health in his entire career. It was a great season last year. I don't know if we can buy into it. Jarvis Landry goes next, and there's a couple other running backs I feel good about. One was Tyler Algier, who went earlier in this round. So after Landry, we've got Chris going Jahan Dotson at the turn at the end of 10 at 10:14, and the beginning of 11:01 is on the clock as well. It's funny, wide receiver does certainly dry up quite a bit here. We are in that Marvin Jones, Corey Davis, Robbie Anderson room, and I don't know if that's a room any of us really want to hang out in necessarily. But in the 14-team league, again, this is what happens. So Chris, we're waiting on to make his second pick here. And after that, it's 2 picks then to me to start the 11th round. 1 second left. Will he get it on time? I don't know. It's J.D. McKissick. That is the pick. The pick is in. 11:02. Cow Breath is up next. And I'm looking at my queue while they're going through a few running backs that I think have some upside still as the season goes on. I think this is what you want to do in a 14-team league, is start to build a roster of bench running backs for depth, because you're going to need it. Brian Robinson's the first guy that I'm going to take here on the 11th round side, because I do believe good running back, a little bit older, but a good running back in college when he was given the opportunity, a little bit bigger, might get some goal line work too for Washington. So I am happy with this pick. Moctimus Prime is up next. Big Pot Energy, when you come back for 11:05, what do you have your eyes on?
Looking at another rookie running back. I'm just hoping Moctimus Prime doesn't take him away from me.
Nope. Jamal Williams, another pick that certainly makes a lot of sense here. Excellent pick there for Moctimus
Jamal
Prime.
Williams. He can have
No, I think, is it Jamal or is it Jameson Williams?
Jameson already got drafted.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Jameson Williams. I'm sorry. I saw the wrong Williams, Jay Williams, Detroit. That's going to be very confusing. So it could even be J-A-M. You have to get all of the Williams now in there. There you go. Oh, no. This is going to cause problems. Erickson, talk about this pick here, whether or not Debro is going to walk off the set.
I don't know. Who did I get? My thing is still loading.
Oh, Tyrion Davis-Price.
Okay, that's who I wanted. All right, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
First mock, I didn't get him.
Yeah, he's down there on the ECR for some reason, and I'm not sure why. I mean, I know that he's competing for the number 2 starting role with Jeff Wilson, but 49ers' recipe of success for drafting the running backs is never draft the first one and draft the guys that go late, because just the nature of the way that they treat that position, guys get banged up. And Tyrion Davis-Price is a guy that can take a big workload, and I think they view him as their kind of closer running back. So in the fourth quarter of games, if they're up, I think you're going to see a lot of Tyrion Davis-Price.
Just wait for Jeffrey Wilson Jr. to lead the team in touches at the running back position this year. Because, that's the chaos that is the San Francisco backfield. Kenneth Gainwell and Pat Fryermuth go back-to-back here. Fryermuth at 11:06, then Gainwell 11:07. Fuzzy takes another Derek Brown favorite, 11:08, Mark Ingram. Derek Brown, you are up on the clock.
So I'm going to go with a player that's buried in ECR. Draft Wizard's probably going to give me a reach. But again, we're talking about upside, good offenses, and we got the rumors out of camp that maybe he is the starting slot wide receiver. I want Isaiah McKenzie here. I think that he's going to rise in ECR. I don't care if I got the reach alert. I think he's a really good player. And just because he's buried does not mean that he can't be treasure.
Well, 14-team league. You're going to have to uncover a couple treasures at least. X marks the spot is up next at 11:10. They select Khalil Herbert, one of my favorite backup running backs as well. Lots of upside there. 11:11. Pat Fitzmaurice, what do you wish for?
Like Derek Brown, I'm going with a buzzy guy from training camp, George Pickens, who's been opening eyes for the Steelers. And it's presumed he's going to be behind Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool and maybe Pat Fryermuth in the target pecking order. We don't know how that's going to go with, no more dusty Ben Roethlisberger. We don't know that he's going to be peppering, that Mitch Trubisky and or Kenny Pickett are going to be peppering Deontay with targets. So I think there's a chance Pickens is impactful right away.
All right, we'll see if he does. But again, taking shots and looking for the second half is important. 14-team leagues, you have to build depth. You have to build upside for not just the first half of the year, but also the second, which is why it's really tough to take guys like DeAndre Hopkins or anybody that's hurt going into the season either, because you're already starting yourself off at a deficit. That's something that I would strongly recommend people do not do going into these deeper team drafts. It's hard enough to get a healthy roster out there. You don't need to raise the bar on it by setting yourself up for failure already. Gus Edwards at 11:12. Then we have 11:13 Marlon Mack, followed by Deonta Foreman at 11:14. Mike Gesicki begins the 12th round. Then Corey Davis at 12:02. Mad Scientist at 12:03 selects Jalen Tolbert, another Andrew Erickson favorite. Fitz, you're up on the clock.
Man, I'm going to go with KJ Osborne here. We know the Vikings the Vikings are going to run more 11 sets with, the Kevin O'Connell, the Sean McVay disciple coming in town. Osborne's going to be on the field a lot, and he was a playmaker last year.
I am so happy that someone else besides me finally gave KJ Osborne some love on the show. That makes me very happy. That makes it all worth it, really, at the end of the day. Jamison Crowder at 12:05, and then Derek Brown, you're up for 12:06.
Well, Fitz talked about going with the camp buzz guy. Look, if Kadarius Toney doesn't fire, Wan'Dale Robinson has a chance to possibly lead the Giants in targets this year. So I'll take the upside swing.
There you go. Another upside swing. We're swinging for the fences here. Fuzzy's up next at 12:07. Usually gets that pick in pretty quickly. Fuzzy seems to have the Derek Brown cheat sheet, which is also part of one of our many offerings here at Fantasy Pros. David Njoku. That would now make sense. Yep. That would definitely be on the cheat sheet.
I told you guys.
Fuzzy's
on it, man.
Fuzzy's on. Do you think Fuzzy trolled you by picking right next to you? Do you think Fuzzy intentionally did that?
Oh, absolutely. Especially as much hell as I made in the Discord, and I was just like, really? Look at this team. I knew he was going to be right next to me.
Speaking of close but no cigar, Nico Collins goes 12:08, then Kirk Cousins at 12:09, right before Andrew Erickson's starting to look like a Tua Tagovailoa situation here for you pretty soon.
Isn't Derek Carr still available?
Is he? Maybe. I guess you could
Kirk
play
Cousins
that.
of the West. Yeah.
Kirk Cousins of the
He's
West.
Fine.
He's fine.
I'm fine.
He's fine. I'm fine. Everyone's fine. How are you? Thank you very much. We appreciate and Deshaun Watson goes right after. So look at you. So you took Deshaun Watson here, or were you trying to take Derek Carr? You're just doing the reverse option here.
I tried to take Derek Carr, but hopefully
Well, you took Deshaun Watson and Derek Carr went after. I'm so sorry. It looks like you
Hey.
still are in need of a quarterback, and now you have to draft two. Oh, what a predicament.
I was planning on drafting two. I thought about taking Watson and Derek Carr, which would have been my strategy, but the draft wizard had other plans.
That's fair enough. Zamir White is my plan. I do believe at some point in Vegas he's going to get a longer look than people realize. KJ Hamler goes next at 12-13. Somebody's thinking about that Tim Patrick injury early here in this draft. 12-14, Josh Palmer also on my queue goes off the board to Chris. Chris has got another pick here to start us in the 13th round as we are winding down and looking at the rosters. I want to remind everybody, make sure you like the stream. Stop what you're doing, pause, and just go ahead, click that like button. We appreciate it. So thank you very much. If you're enjoying the content here in Fantasy Pros, and I know that you are, make sure you do that for us. Literally, it's the least you can do, and it makes a big deal for us. So thank you. I appreciate it. Chris appreciates it. The other three guys, I don't know if they appreciate it as much as Chris and I do. I'll be honest with you. All right, Hunter Henry goes next, then Tua Tagovailoa goes. I am up next. Do I want another quarterback, or do I want to continue to pad my roster with other guys? Let's see. Where do we have here? We've got 2 bench spots remaining here. I'm going to go ahead and take another quarterback just for fun. I'm going to go ahead and take Trevor Lawrence here. There's my fun quarterback and upside there. So we'll see here what Big Pot Energy has to do. It's going to look like Matt Ryan for you now, buddy. How's that for you? Is that good enough for you? Matt Ryan and Deshaun Watson? Would you go to war with that in a 14-team league, honestly?
No. I'm not starting Matt Ryan. There's no way.
Well, you're not starting Deshaun Watson either for the first 6 weeks. So just pointing that out there. So, all right, things, you flew a little too close to the sun there. Donovan Peoples-Jones goes next. So Big Pot Energy now, what do you do?
I mean, I'm taking, let's see, probably.
All of the Big Pot Energy has been sucked out of Andrew Erickson's soul, ladies and gentlemen. Take a good look. This is why you enjoy the YouTube channel. Look at it go. So good. Better hurry.
Well, I mean, right now, like, I didn't take a quarterback because I feel like the rest of the quarterbacks that are left are kind of the same. Like, I don't value like one so much higher than the other one. So I'll just wait to the last pick to take a guy that I can start because I have the whole waiver wire at my disposal.
Okay, the whole waiver wire, the whole world in his hands, and now Will Fuller on his roster. That's what he's got. Kenyon Drake at 1306, Irv Smith at 1307. Debro, the Irv Smith news too, that came out today. A little troubling there. This was a late tight end that I think a lot of people had their eye on. Any concerns here about Irv Smith?
No, it sounds like his recovery, he's going to make it back for week 1. So, I mean, maybe you're looking at, okay, do you take Irv? Then you're probably going to need to take a second tight end. So, I would be looking at matchups for weeks, like, say, 1 through 3, just in case Irv gets off to a little bit slower start. That way you're covered.
All right, David Bell goes next. Debro, you got 15 seconds for 1309. What do you got?
Well, I was hoping Kenyon Drake would make it to me. That was not in the cards. I'm going to take a player who could be the RB2 on a high-scoring offense right now. A lot of buzz in camp about Eno Benjamin. So I'll take the swing this late that he's the RB2 in this offense over Darrell Williams.
Sacrilege. Albert O goes next at 1310. Pat Fitzmaurice, you're up for 1311.
Oh, I just got snaked on Albert O. That would have been such a nice high upside pick. I've got an old tight end. He's great, but he's old. So just in case he gets hurt, I need a backup plan. I'm going to go with Noah Fant here. And I really wanted Albert O. I mean, maybe the Tim Patrick injury creates a few more targets for Albert O. And I mean, with that dude's athleticism, the sky is the limit, man.
All right, we'll see what happens here as we go through the rest of the picks. We have Albert O, then Noah Fant, Chris Evans at 1312. 1313 is Braylon Edwards. 1314, Hope for Venezuela is up for 2 picks. Then we're going to close out this 14th round, and we're going to talk about it again. This is your last chance, so get in on it right now. That Gabriel Davis jersey can be yours. All you have to do is subscribe to Fantasy Pros YouTube channel. Do it. Subscribe. Click that little bell till it goes ding for the notifications. And that glorious number 13 jersey can be yours. It's autographed by Gabriel Davis. I don't know if it smells like Gabriel Davis or not, but it's autographed by him. That I can guarantee. along with the certificate of authenticity. You could wear it around your house. You can be Gabriel Davis for Halloween. You could just hang it on your wall like Andrew Erickson did. You know, you could do a lot of things with it. So go ahead and go get yourself a Gabriel Davis jersey. All you got to do is comment now too. So if you subscribed already, now comment in this live stream right now, and we're going to give that away today. That's what I've been told. And we're going to start a new one as well. I don't even know what the new one is. It's so exciting. I can barely contain myself of what the next jersey we are going to give away. Let's see what other picks we're giving away here. Hope for Venezuela go ahead and took Robbie Anderson at the turn along with Daniel Jones. So Aaron is on the clock now at 14:02. Robbie Anderson, remember when he was good at football? That was fun for like a year. That was a good time. Byron Pringle goes next at 14:02. He was somebody I had my eye on. Oh, there's the Paris Campbell. You can't have a 14-team league and not have Paris Campbell get drafted. Pat Fitzmaurice, 14:04. What do you got?
How can I be getting snaked in the 13th and 14th rounds? I was going to take Paris Campbell, so that's frustrating.
Well, honestly, you're probably better off.
Too. Yeah. All right. So I'm going with Marvin Jones. I'm worried he's a little bit dusty.
Now you snipe me.
Did I? Oh, man.
Well, at this point, you might as well take capable, right? 14-team league, last round, capable. I think that's all we want to see. Mac Jones goes next. Derek Brown, you are up next at 14:06 for your final pick.
So I've got 4 running backs. Wish I had a little bit, at least another one, but the running backs here are it's slim pickings. So I'm just going to load up on another wide receiver. After Devontae Parker probably misses some time, we'll see the real wide receiver one for the Patriots emerge, and that's Kendrick Bourne.
Oh, very nice. Also on my queue, so well done there. Fuzzy 14:06. Oh, sorry, 14:07 is on the clock. My apologies to you, Fuzzy. With the last pick, we'll see if they've got one more dagger to stick in the back of Derek Brown, 14:07. What would you think it is, Derek? What would be the one guy left that you would like that you think Fuzzy's going to draft?
Oh, Fuzzy, which way are you going with this one?
Jameis Winston turned out to be the pick there.
Oh, that's not where I was going to go.
Matt Ryan goes next. Gerald Everett goes next at 14:09. Now, Andrew Erickson, your final selection is?
Oh, man. Do I have to take Matt Ryan? Oh, man. How the tables have turned.
Matt Ryan's not available. You can't take Matt Ryan.
Available.
Uh-oh. Now you're down to Zach Wilson and Ryan Tannehill. Matt Ryan just went 2 picks before you because 40 Cal was listening to me and go ahead and just make your life miserable. So it's Tannehill or bust. 3 seconds.
I don't know if I got the pick in on time.
It said Zach Wilson. So was that the pick you wanted to have?
Do you think that's the pick that No, I did not want to pick Zach Wilson. The Jets have the hardest schedule to start the season, even though I do have Elijah Moore. I was
going to say, yeah, but you're the one talking me how great Elijah Moore is going to be.
I will be hitting the waiver wire week 1. Don't worry.
Okay.
He will not be my starting quarterback week 1.
I'll throw a dart here late on Alec Pierce, see if he can do anything. So Andrew Erickson is going to, again, the energy was bigger, perhaps too big for his own britches in this draft. I don't know how the draft wizard's going to feel about Zach Wilson as your quarterback here in the drafting, in the grading system. We have Laviska Shenault going 14:11. I took Alec Pierce. We have 2 picks remaining here to close things out. Fitz, what's your grade feel? You think you're an A- team, a B team? What do you think you are?
Oh, the draft wizard doesn't like me. Normally I'm in the C range, a lot like my high school transcript. But I think it's going to be closer to a B this time. I think I'm a little more balanced than I usually am.
I'm thinking B+. I think that's where I am. Derek Brown, where are you? You think?
I'm probably C- D. I went with all the upside guys. Maybe they give me a few brownie points for going with Kyle Pitts, but I've got a lot of rookies and a lot of upside bets here. I got a C-. There we go.
Oh, I got a C. So I was cautiously optimistic, and I should know better. That was not the case. So Andrew Erickson, what grade did you get there, Sunshine?
I got a B-.
How is that possible?
What?
How in the world are you a B-?
Wow. Because I have 2 stud running backs, and I weighed at quarterback, and yeah, that's how.
That's how. And Cow Breath won the draft. Congratulations to Cow Breath. You are number 1. Babyface Brothers number 2. Moctimus Prime is number 3, according to the draft wizard. And in terms of who liked our draft, well, we'll find out. But the hot take is Joe Pisapia likes Joe Pisapia's draft more than any other expert. And at the end of the day, that's all Joe Pisapia cares about. Derek Brown, who liked your draft more than anybody else?
Well, I'm not going to talk in the third person here. I'm just going to talk about the other people that liked my draft. Although I did like my own. I will say that. I gave myself a 93. Bo McBrayer gave me a 97. Matt Donnelly for Dynasty Vipers gave me an 88. Dalton Del Don gave me an 87. Ming Song over at Fantrax gave me a 1. I guess I've gotten a 0 before, so I guess it's better than that. But
Guess so.
I'm just gonna hope for the upside hits.
Yes, I also got a 0 from that same person. They must have just started doing rankings, would be my guess, or maybe while the draft began. That is possible. I also got a nice grade from Matt Donnelly as well. Fitz, what was the actual grade? Were you better or worse than you thought?
I didn't get that plus, Joe, but I did get a B. So,
Okay. Well,
woohoo,
there you go.
I'm celebrating.
Very nice.
And, Rudy Gamble from Rasball, who an excellent projections guy, gave me an A+, as did Joe Bond of Fantasy Six Pack, Austin Amendolia, and Clayton Cadeau. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. So, yeah, Meng Song relatively liked my draft. He gave me a 3, so that's good. But Dennis Sosick, Austin Lee, Joe Metz, and Seth Miller did not approve of my drafting.
Well, Fitz, you are the best of the analysts. You finished 5th here, so congratulations to you. How Andrew Erickson finished where he did with Zach Wilson as a starting quarterback for the first 6 weeks. I can't tell you.
He's not my starting quarterback. He's just
he is, because that's what happened. He's a placeholder for what?
For when I drop him to pick someone else up to start.
Uh-huh. All right. Let's continue on here.
Because the options are good on the waiver wire.
Yeah, it was great. I can't wait.
At least there are options.
A lot of Kenny Pickett. All right. Look, Oof. As far as this draft goes, I'd go to war with this team in a 14-team league. Dak Prescott, Zeke, A.J. Dillon, then Justin Jefferson if Michael Thomas plays up to his ability, and Christian Kirk is a wide receiver 1 on his own team. Not bad. Mark Andrews, possibly the 1 tight end there, and Alan Lazard. I like that. I like that starting roster. The bench, you're never going to love the bench in a 14-team league. It's always going to look weird. Devontae Parker, I'm okay with. Trevor Lawrence, Darrell Williams, Brian Robinson, Zamir White, Alec Pierce. So, again, got some running back depth there. 3 bench running backs who I think over time might be all right. Let's look at the Andrew Erickson team. Let's give him some more time and publicity because Zach Wilson is a starting quarterback, followed by Dalvin Cook and Nick Chubb. So he did go back-to-back RB. Then T. Higgins, Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore, Dallas Goedert. The flex spot is Devontae Smith, followed by the bench of Kadarius Toney, Sony Michel, Deshaun Watson, Rashad White, Will Fuller, and Tyrion Davis-Price. So great running backs, but how do you feel about this wide receiving core here? All honestly, Andrew.
I mean, it's definitely a lot of question marks. A lot of guys, second-year guys, are looking to take a leap. Jerry Jeudy, is he going to produce? Like, basically is what I'm, is the loaded question. I feel good about Higgins, but it's, trying to capture some ceilings here. I don't know if Judy's going to be my wide receiver 2. It could be Moore, it could be Smith, or Tony could make the leap. So I'm hoping out of these 4 guys, I think Higgins, I feel pretty confident about. Out of those 4 guys, I can get some starting caliber production, and then whoever comes from, it doesn't necessarily matter where I drafted them. So I feel good about the upside with those receivers. Quarterback, we've already kind of talked about. Don't feel great about it, and I probably should have just taken Trey Lance when I had the chance to. But I would like to point out that both Debro and Pat, according to the Draft Wizard, like my draft. Do you guys like my draft?
I do. Yeah.
I do. I like your draft.
That's what you got to say.
Quarterback.
I think you need more wide receiver play nowadays. Your running backs are terrific, but I think, in a 14-team league, as much as you want the volume of the touches, I think these big-time wide receivers, those are the ones that move the needle nowadays. And when these running backs get hurt, man, there's no replacement value. So it's really tough there. By the way, so Fitz finished 5th, which means our top 4 people won upgrades at FantasyPros. Congratulations. You did it. Well done. So Cal Breath got it. Babyface Brothers, Moctimus Prime, great name, and Chris 2333 all got free upgrades. We're going to give away that jersey in just a moment. We're going to pick a winner. So last chance to go ahead and like the stream and make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Fantasy Pros. Let's go to Fitz's team real quick. Fitz, break it all down for us. What do you think of this roster you have right now? Because in terms of Patrick Mahomes, Najee Harris, Ken Walker is your second running back, Mike Williams, Brandon Cooks, Ayuk, Travis Kelce, James Cook, James Robinson, Kenny Galladay, Noah Fant, Marvin Jones, KJ Osborne, and George Pickens. Your thoughts, Fitz?
Yeah, it's kind of an anti-Fitz roster because normally in any league where you have to start at least 3 receivers and can flex in a fourth, like I'm hell bent on being strong at wide receiver, and that kind of didn't happen. I talked about the value trap and stepped right into it. It clamped on my leg like a bear trap, and so yeah, I didn't get my receiver in one of the first 2 rounds, and I'm a little bit weak at receiver, so I'm just going to try to look at it as, Travis Kelce making up for maybe a little bit of that weakness, having the top tight end, and then pairing him with Mahomes. Like normally I don't go for a luxury tight end and a luxury quarterback, but I just couldn't pass up the value on Mahomes and the chance to stack him with Kelce. Irresistible. So little sketchy at running back, a little sketchy at wide receiver. I think this team is probably going to be hitting the waiver wire pretty hard in the early weeks of the season, but there's some decent raw clay here. I can work with this.
All right, let's see about the rock clay that you have to mold, Derek Brown. You've got Matthew Stafford, DeAndre Swift, Javonte Williams. Certainly some upside there with those RBs, no doubt about it. Jalen Waddle, Drake London, Chase Claypool, Kyle Pitts, Chase Edmonds, Justin Fields, Sky Moore, Kendrick Bourne, Wan'Dale Robinson, Isaiah McKenzie, and Eno Benjamin. A lot of upside, a lot of youth as well. How do you feel about this roster?
So when I went aggressive on running backs, I went running back, part of the idea was, okay, it's a 14-teamer. Usually those backs that I like in the 3rd and 4th rounds might not get there, but that didn't happen. So I would have liked to probably go back if I did this over again, take a wide receiver instead of going double tapping running back, going wide receiver with probably one of those picks and then snagging one of the guys later. But again, like I feel pretty good about this team. I mean, it's really just throwing the net out there, throwing darts, and I've got enough upside darts here. Like I feel good about Jalen Waddle. He's going to get volume, be a top 20, top 24 wide receiver. And then after that, it's just tossing darts. So, I mean, out of Drake London, Chase Claypool, Sky Moore, Wan'Dale Robinson, Isaiah McKenzie, all these different guys, I feel pretty good. Like 1, 2 of those guys at least hit. And so I feel good about the wide receiver room. I do wish, again, maybe one of those wide receiver picks, because I feel like I got a little bit fixated on chasing wide receivers. Maybe I should have mixed in another running back, because after my big 2, I've got Chase Edmonds, and then it's really just hope and a prayer kind of darts.
All right. So it's time to pick a winner, and we have the winner of the autographed Gabriel Davis jersey is Carl Noel. Carl, congratulations. Again, Carl Noel, you have won the Gabriel Davis jersey. Here's what you do. You go right to the computer. You go right to the cell phone, whatever it is. You hit mailbag@fantasypros.com. That's the address to reach out to us. Mailbag@fantasypros.com with your mailing address, proof of your subscription to Fantasy Pros channel, and then we'll get that jersey shipped out to you. Again, that Gabriel Davis jersey is yours, Carl Noel. Congratulations. Well done. All you did was hang out and subscribe and watch a little Fantasy Pros. See, just getting free stuff away. Speaking of free stuff, we've got another fun thing to give away too, because we're going to go ahead and give another jersey away. That's right. If you didn't get to win the Gabriel Davis jersey, you get to win a Marquez Valdes-Scantling jersey, courtesy of our friends at PristineAuction.com. Once again, you need to be a subscriber to Fantasy Pros YouTube channel, so subscribe right now. Click that little bell till it goes ding for notifications, and comment below on this video. That's it. And we'll be announcing that winner right here on this channel soon as well. So make sure to turn on those notifications, right? So you know when you're alerted, when the episodes are up, and you can claim your prize. And Carl Noel, you are the big winner here. But really, we're all the big winners here, because we got to hang out and talk some football for a little while, and we hope you enjoyed this. Once again, if you want to run some simulations and some mock drafts, go over to fantasypros.com/draftwizard, where you can do that. So it's very easy. If you've never done it before, give it a shot. And if you're somebody who has used the products in the past, make sure you upgrade at fantasypros.com. We've got the offers going on at fantasypros.com/offers, where you get 12 free months of our premium product at Fantasy Pros. We've got the draft software stuff for you. That means the upgraded draft kit. We've got so many things available at your fingertips. The cheat sheet creator. We've got all of that once you become a member of Fantasy Pros, and you can using the offers. But in the meantime, go run as many mock simulations as you like. The mock draft lobby is open. Mock against your friends. Join our Discord for free. But as a premium member, you get access to the AMAs. You get access to fun things like this, where we bring you on and you're part of the show, because we want you to be part of the family, part of the show here at Fantasy Pros. That's how it works. So We hope you enjoyed this mock draft 14-team league. We went a little deeper, got some discussion on some deeper names, so hope you enjoyed that, and that'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Fitz, for Zach Wilson, Andrew Erickson and Derek Brown, I'm Joey P. Thanks again, Chris. Great job. We'll see you next time, kids.